Hey everybody, it's Slice of Disney. This is Michelle again. Came across another box of pins that I didn't even realize I had. So after sorting through that box and all the other pins that I pulled out before, I think I put together a really cool presentation to show you a bunch of different pins that I've collected over the years. So I hope you all enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Okay, so this grouping of pins will be those that I collected celebrating different anniversaries. Most people will probably remember these. Disneyland celebrated its 60th anniversary. I believe it was 2015 to 2016. So here's some of the pins I picked up celebrating the 60th. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the 50th anniversary. So there's one for that, and there's another one for the 50th. And go back a little further, here's a pin for the 45-year anniversary of Disney. And here's a button, or a square button, for the 45 years. Now this one is celebrating 40 years. And go back a little further, here's a celebration for 35 years. And here's another little pin for 35 years. Now this one, I don't know about this one. I think this probably is something from the 90s maybe. Doesn't have a year, but again, it's part of some kind of anniversary. Now this pin has nothing to do with an anniversary for the parks, but maybe an anniversary for me. Yes, this is from my grad night. They had buttons back then, and I'm sure glad I picked one up because that date was a long time ago. But anyway, again, I was pin collecting even back in high school. Okay, so this grouping of pins is for California Adventure. Now, I'm not really going to go through all the buttons I have for the different attractions because this is more of a focus just on California Adventure overall. So this was a pass holder preview I went to when California Adventure was getting ready to open. So this is the pin I got for that event. And here's another one for California Adventure. And then, of course, 2001, that's when California Adventure opened, I believe. And then there was this pin. Kind of interesting. You could, like, spin this thing, and it kind of shows you different things that they had at the park at the time the park opened. Park was a little different than it is now, but needless to say, it's really evolved. But back then, it was a little more simple, and you could probably get through the park in, I don't know, maybe 3 hours at the most. Okay, the next pins is some I've collected for World of Color. This was a pass holder event. This is the opening season 2010 World of Color. So that means I was at World of Color for an event when the show first began. And these are a couple more recent pins for World of Color. I just picked them up because I like the way they look. Okay, let me straighten that one out a little. There we go. Okay, so there you go for California Adventure. Okay, so now these pins are for Fantasmic and the Electrical Parade. So as you can see, a button, this is probably something earlier into the beginning of Fantasmic. And then here's another pin for Fantasmic. And another earlier pin for Fantasmic. Now, in my last video, I did share these pins, but because they fall in the theme of the Electrical Parade, I wanted to share those again. These were for a pass holder event. Not really a pass holder event, but if you were a pass holder and you came once a week, you could do some Electrical Parade activities and pick up one pin a week. So these are the 4 pins that they were passing out. Okay, this is one of my earlier Electrical Parade pins, probably from one of the earlier runs, as well as my Elliot. Remember, I like Elliot. There's another Electrical Parade pin. As you could see, some of these characters were not in the Electrical Parade for its return. They did not start it with the Blue Fairy anymore. And the lion, he was from Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and I think I remember he used to be playing inside like a calliope or one of those piano, sounds like an organ thing. His float was not in the return. So it was interesting how some of the floats, I guess they must have come about later in the Electrical Parade run after its debut, because they were not in the return of this most recent season. And then of course I have this big button from the first time, 1996, when the Electrical Parade left. As you can tell, it did come back, so whether or not this was truly another farewell, I don't know, but they did have a farewell in 1996, and then it's come back twice since then. Now this last pin, it's not really a pin for the Electrical Operator Fantasmic, but it is still part of Disney. If you look at this, this is the lanyard metal, and it came with a matching pin. But what I thought was fascinating was that they were reminiscent of the old posters, the kinds that you would see in the entrance as you walked into the park. So I picked that up because, again, that's another reminiscent of Disney. Okay, so that's the end of that pin video. What did you think? Leave me some comments below and ask any questions you'd like to ask. And please tune in for the next video. And like, subscribe, share with your friends, and always have a slice of Disney.